in a family, and I'd like to congratulate Gift and his brother. I think that this is the kind of youthful energy that we need.
It is.
I mean, I had two friends who were running for the first time, Lele to Jordan and Semi Mashita. They both finished just under 11 hours. And many other people. This is torturing. This is not easy. You know, it takes the brave heart. But I also had, Minister Mbalula says he's going to run. So
we got to wait and see if this actually happens. Any chance of you running?
Well,
Listen, you can be as blatant as me and say no. There is nothing wrong with it.
We'll have to see, you know. The heart may want to, so let's see if the body agrees.
Exactly. I'm with you. The thing is, my heart doesn't want to run it either. but this time, my heart and my brain are they're in line with one another. I've reached this conclusion. So, well done. But also, you know what's so nice? I mean, Buti, I know this is not what we're talking about, but I think we're just also excited. Also to have our female winner, Caroline, also being a South African. So.
Exactly.
Since 1992, we haven't had both winning.
Exactly. I mean, for the last 4 years, we haven't had a South African male, and since like forever, the Eastern Europeans have been taking it. So, I mean, it's back home, and I think we've also seen with the Two Oceans Marathon, after years, we now have a South African, have it in the back. So we hope that it will be on the roll, on the long distance scene, and I think we're quite happy for them. And especially as young people, I think for me as Deputy Minister and the Presidency to see young South Africans achieving so much, I think it's quite encouraging. And I would like to see more and more young people going out there and, being champions.
Exactly.
Like Gift, no longer being little champions, but being real champions.
Being the real big champion.
Exactly.
I think it's fantastic. Well, all right, well done to our winners. It's really fantastic. Let me give you a little bit of background as to why our Deputy Minister is actually in studio with us, besides celebrating the youth running the Comrades Marathon this year and our winners as well. This year actually marks 39 years since the 16th of June 1976 uprisings. It was 21 years since South Africa attained freedom and 60 years since the adoption of the Freedom Charter. Government, in partnership with the National Youth Development Agency, that's the NYDA, are launching their 2015 Youth Month program. The events are organised to commemorate the anniversary of those who lost their lives when apartheid security forces opened fire on them on the 16th of June 1976. I mean, Deputy Minister, that photograph and those images and memories are still in our minds. It doesn't matter how many years down the line, we will never forget that day.
Yeah, look, I mean, we will never forget that day, and I think that it's what we seek to do all the time to teach young people, to teach teenagers our history, to show where we come from. But also we're celebrating and commemorating June 16 to remind young people of the power that they have in themselves. Before June 1676, there was somewhat of a political lull in terms of resistance against the apartheid system until, for quite a considerable period. A lot of leaders were arrested in Robben Island, and some were in exile, setting up operations and all of that, until, and the apartheid regime was beginning to take comfort in the fact that they've suppressed everyone, until Soweto 76 came up. And I think that, the relevance of June 1676 for us today is to say to young people that, no one is going to change the circumstances which we find ourselves until we ourselves take action as the youths of 76 did. So that's why we have to keep on celebrating and commemorating June 16, 1976.
Yeah, it's an important date in our calendar, and it's an important thing to always be reminded that the youth are our future, and we need to look after the youth. But when you look at the youth of 2015, it's not a very encouraging sight, is it, for the general population? I mean, we've got some incredible youngsters out there. But when you look at the unemployment rate, when you look at the statistics of those that are on drugs, alcohol abuse, HIV and AIDS, unwanted pregnancies, these are things that are still facing the youth of today. What more can we do?
Look, I mean, young people both in our country and in the continent are the majority. And I think part of our strategy has to be, how do we take advantage of that? And like you said, we've got serious problems of, unemployment, poverty, inequality, and how do we, zoom into all of those things? We have, the Cabinet has just taken a decision on the National Youth Policy 2020, which is a program of government and commitments that government is making over the next 5 years, not only to complement the National Development Plan, but also to complement all other efforts that government have put into place to create employment, to skill young people, and all of that. The President, on June 16, would be, as part of the commemoration, launching a program which we believe over the next 5 years would yield, for instance, 1 million youth enterprise. We will, by the end of this year, be launching a program that would, also recruit about 1 million young people into a national youth service. And those are part of the efforts which, we think will get young people involved. But in the overall, over and above issues of the economy, we think that, we have to work with young people in communities as volunteers in order, for instance, to deal with the challenges of HIV/AIDS, the challenges of teenage pregnancy, which I think is one of the, biggest problem, challenges of drugs and substance abuse, which would require a collective effort. Not only government through its drug strategy can be able to deal with that, but also, challenges of alcohol abuse. At the end of the year, I understand that a lot of grade 12 learners go out on an alcohol binge because they have finished writing. Yeah. And those are scary things because it is a lifestyle that young people begin to adopt as, proper. So we have to have that collective effort. So June 16 in 2015 has to be about how do we deal with this, collective efforts. But that besides, there are a lot of young people who are doing, very good things. And this is also about celebrating them. There are young people who, writes to me and say, look, we hear all of these things, but I'm completing my PhD or I'm involved in this innovative project. Can we get support, or thank you for the support, and all of that. But I think the other thing is that, over the last 18 months or 2 years or so, we've been, involved in a turnaround for the National Youth Development Agency. I know a lot of young people have been very discouraged to go and approach the NYDA and all of that, but we are in a position now to say that things have actually changed for the better. A lot of money allocated to the NYDA is actually going into pockets of young people, supporting small businesses, giving out scholarships, improving services that happens at branches. We are hoping that, the things where in the NYDA was, about all sorts of things, kissing festivals and all of that, that those are the things of the past, and that their major priority will be about how do we develop young people.
Good. I'm happy to hear that. We really do hope that that this particular month, Youth Month, is one where we're going to see a lot of changes and help for the youth of South Africa. Buti Manamela, who is the Deputy Minister in the Presidency, thank you very much for talking to us here about this issue as well. This month, celebrating Youth Month, do put your ear to the ground on the different programs that are planned throughout the month and get involved where you can. All right, let's take a break.